On this channel, we've talked about rare later printings, we've talked about controversial comics, we've even talked about error printings and super rare stuff. Let's go ahead and dive into some recalled copies. These are books that publishers made such a mistake that they had to actually order that all copies be destroyed. Interesting denotation here, there are some unconfirmed recalls, books that were seemingly recalled but not a full-blown mass-scale recall. Like Immortal Hulk 43 had an anti-Semitic remark in it, but it was not actually fully recalled. So we are just going to stick to 100% confirmed published recalls. What to look for in them, how to hunt them, and what you should expect to spend for one of these things. We're going to start with the most affordable stuff here. We've got Saga issue 12. This was actually recalled for explicit sex within the issue. So the later printing that came out was more tame. This didn't really seem to affect the value, so it's still a $5 book or maybe even less. I'm keeping it Saga for a second with issue 41, which was printed too dark. Had to get recalled and new issues released. Also, a book that didn't really do too much for the value. It's going to be a $5 book. Tangled Web issue number 1. It was completely printed on the wrong paper. Whoopsie-daisy, they actually gave it an accidental matte cover. They were recalled and destroyed, and later printings received a normal paper cover that you would receive. Didn't really do too much for the value, but people still try to grab it in a $5 bin when they can. Swamp Thing number 11. This is an issue in which I've actually mentioned this on a channel for rarity. This thing, it's unknown how many made it through. They were ordered to be destroyed, and seemingly pretty much all of them got destroyed, but obviously not all. Now, what's interesting this is the price is all over the place. Some places you find it for like $5, sometimes it's $100, so the value is actually unknown. Avengers versus Infinity, keep in mind some of these have variants. It's the same thing throughout cover A and B. It's incomplete. Whoops, how'd they miss that one? Now we're going to get into the stuff that's $10 or more. We got Dead Rabbit number 1. This was a copyright infringement from a bar in New York City that either the bar name was Dead Rabbit or they had a comic book drink combination called the Dead Rabbit. Anyway, they had to recall it, and it's about a $10 book, although there are some ash cans that are worth even more for the same exact problem. All-Star Batman and Robin number 10. This is one I've found a few times. This has some curse words in which the black bars that edited it out didn't do a great job, and you can totally see what they're trying to say. This is starting at $10, but it can be even more. I would say it's a solid $10. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You number 7. This is a funny one. It has an ad for V for Vendetta, and it's a little kid's book. So obviously that ad is in the wrong place, in the wrong book, and was recalled. It's got a little tiny value, probably about $10, I'd say. World Tree, number 1. Here's another one of these ones printed too dark. There were a lot of variants of this too that actually had the same problem. I know that I had one. I'm sure a lot of people that did the pre-order probably got one of the ones that was too dark. It's pretty common, but it still is a $10 book. Green Lantern number 1 from the New 52, the teardrop variant on Sinestro right there. Very odd little error printing / recalled book. Later printings don't have it, but it is so funny that it perfectly made that indentation right near his eye. So weird how that worked out. It's still only about $10. Very affordable, very findable. Batman Damned. This is the first appearance of the Bat Wang. That's right. You can see Bruce Wayne's penis in the first print copies of this thing. And they sell for $20. It used to be a lot more, but things are come down on that one for sure. Pun intended. Dazzler number 1 actually has a famous recalled. It's about a $20, $25 book in which you get some of the ad pages are in black and white. It's an odd one. It doesn't really disrupt the story by any means, but they did have to recall, destroy, and re-release. DC presents Legion of Superheroes number 1. The book is out of order, so they messed it up. I think like page 12 is on page 4 or something like that, and it's just completely out of whack. People that were reading it were very confused, had to be recalled. About $20 there. Millennium Edition Mad number 1. This is actually a reprint copy of Mad Magazine number 1. But they actually messed up and they forgot to give credit where credit was due, and they had to recall and re-release. Supergirl 33, I just had one of these. Funny one because this copy and all of its variants say Year of the Villain, and it has nothing to do with the Year of the Villain arc. Pretty funny, and actually, they caught it pretty early, so these are pretty scarce. It's a $20 book, though. Same thing with Superman 14, came out at the exact same time. Also says Year of the Villain on it, just like Supergirl 33. Was recalled and re-released. It is $20 if you got a nice, perfect condition. Superman 596, this is actually released, I forget if it's the same day or the day after the Twin Towers fell. And creepily, it shows the Twin Towers fully attacked and on fire. So really odd, and they actually told everybody, bring it back and we'll give you another copy. I don't think anybody did that. Every time I find this book, I do actually find it to be the original recalled version. So it's very common, but it also still has a $20 value despite being so common. Wolverine 131 has a racial slur thrown into the page. I think it's like Wolverine saying something about Sabretooth, and it was just in bad taste. It's a $30 if you got a nice near minty. This is actually fairly scarce. Not rare, but fairly scarce. Spider-Man Reign #1. We got the Parker penis. We got a couple penises on this list, man. Well, this one's, you see, Peter's wang. And they caught it fairly early, so it's not like it's got the tiniest or the largest, wow, all these puns are ridiculous, print count. You can find it, and you're probably dropping $30 on it if you want a perfect copy. Matrix, the comic book preview. It's also the first Matrix comic book. One of the only Matrix keys I think I'm even aware of. And it actually has excessive violence and was recalled due to it. Whoops-a-daisy. That's a $30 book. Can be even more if it's in that perfect condition. Batman Bruce Wayne, Murderer. First of all, great story. Second of all, it's the only graphic novel on the list. They made a pretty big whoopsie. This is an interesting one because all of these were very missable, but I really don't know how they dropped the ball here. It does the whole Bruce Wayne Murderer storyline, but it was missing 2 entire issues. Got another copy out, which actually included the entire storyline, and people that had the bad one traded it in and got the good one. But trade paperbacks often aren't super collected, so you can get this thing for probably $20-$30, to be completely honest. Very affordable. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Volume 2, Issue 13. This is one of my favorite ones. I learned this in my research. I wasn't aware of this. $40 book here, and the back cover is on the front. I saw some things saying, in all fairness, it looks like a cover. Nah, dude, that looks like a back cover slapped on the front. That's quite a big whoopsie. So in case you guys have a full run of Volume 2 TMNT and you're wondering what the hell's going on, now you know. LCD, the Kieran Dwyer's lowest comic denomination. Oops. It's a $50 book, and it was actually recalled for, I think, probably obvious reasons. Starbucks sued them for copyright infringement over the Starbucks logo and also putting it in a negative light. They caught it pretty early. This is also an underground comic, so there weren't many of them to begin with. So this one's actually quite scarce, hence the $50 price tag. Elektra #3. With a nude Elektra. Now, it's very small, the difference between the regular and the recalled. There's one page where basically they add like a bra strap in the silhouette to make it look like she's not completely nude. And the recalled version, there is no bra strap. So it's super subtle. I have actually only had this once. It can be very expensive. I think in the current market, it's about $100. Used to be a lot more. Green Lanterns with an S, issue #6. Wrong title, just like the whole Year of the Villain situation going on. Here's the thing, even more than Year of the Villain, this was caught early. So this is actually pretty darn scarce. Key Collector says $150. Frankly, I see it so infrequently, that could actually be correct. Conan issue 24. This is one of those ones where it's like, guys, you had to know this was going to be a problem. It is a nude cover. It depicts a nude woman. Of course this was going to need to be recalled. I don't know why they tried to get away with it, but they didn't. and it had to be recalled. Very expensive. It's about 150 to 200 bucks here. Action Comics 869, one of the most famous ones on the entire list. Most copies you see of this, if you look closely, Superman's going to be holding a bottle of soda. But there is an earlier recalled edition in which it's a bottle of beer. Heaven forbid we show Kal-El holding some beer. Anyway, that thing is a $200 book, kind of minimum for like a mint copy raw. So definitely some value there. Keep an eye out for that when you're hunting. Universe X Spidey. This is Al Milgrom, I'm pretty sure, making fun of Bob Harris, hidden in the pages behind one of the panels. This is very scarce. It's about 100 to 200 bucks, but here's the thing. There's even another one more scarce. There's a Dynamic Forces copy variant that, God, who even knows how many of these things there are? Not many at all. They were all, and all variants, recalled right away. So I always get this book in. It's never the recalled version. I never get lucky. But just know that if you find it, you got some money. Elseworlds, 80-page giant, one of my favorite ones. This is another one of the more famous ones. This is the Microwave Baby. That was maybe in bad taste. I also feel like the Flash movie that came out a couple years ago might have been paying homage to this famous comic book recall. This thing is a $300 book because of this pretty big whoopsie. Our final two is going to go to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, number 5, another very famous one on the list. And in one of the ads, the fake ads that they run throughout the issue, there's something that says the Marvel douche, basically calling Marvel a douche. Very tough to find. I actually have had one of these, and they say it's a $300 book if it's in perfect condition. Let me tell you something, the 9.8 is way even better than that. So this book definitely has some very real value. Our final entry is another TMNT. Well, the famous TMNT 1 through 4 that everybody wants, they made another printing of number 4. It was supposed to be the second print. However, they goofed up and they accidentally put a Tales of the TMNT cover on issue 4, second print. So it's the complete wrong cover. They caught it essentially right away, and copies were ordered to be destroyed and redone. This thing is so actually rare that it does equate to about a $600 to $800 book, and is going to close our list for the most expensive confirmed recalled issue. Now again, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are recall issues out there that aren't a full-blown recall, but these confirmed publisher recalls, here's what we're basically looking at. How many of these do you own? Which one of these are you going to try to commit to memory? And what did I miss? Let me know. I'll see you at the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. Keep on hunting. Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.